Revolutionary War cannon. I wasn't aiming for the school bus, but of course I got expelled anyway. And before that, in my 4th grade school, when we took a behind-the-scenes tour of the Marine World Shark Pool, I sort of hit the wrong lever on the catwalk, and I almost took an upwet and planned swim. And the time before that, well, you get the idea. it was me.